All right. All right. So there's a couple of information that I think we were on a webinar the other day. There's a couple of informations that I think we don't know much about, and I have always talked about it here. So one thing I want us to, so I came up with a proper blueprint of how much a charger is worth, what are we looking at, types of chargers and all of that. So that's pretty much what this whole webinar will be all about. Let me put up the next next one. Then okay. All right. So one thing that we need to remember as well that I was talking about the other day. Let me put it away. That file is so is let me start from here. I will start from type of EV vehicles that we have. I think that's one thing that we have not put into consideration. Let me just close this one. Let me open this one. This, oh man. Okay. Let me use Google then. I don't know what's wrong with this write-up that I did. It's just not coming up. All right. So let me go into Google because I don't think we remember types of EV vehicles that we have. So I know we remember that there's couple of different vehicles. So there's battery powered, there's HEV, there's PHEV, then there's EV, then we have BEVs. Now Toyota did hydrogen as well, FCEVs. Now I was of the opinion that when you're doing a bill, I expect that we cover the precise ones that we want to do. It makes it easier for us to know where we are going. Now, for Toyota, Toyota only did HEV, PHEV, BEV, and FCEV. That's the only one Toyota did. But there's multiple ones that other manufacturers have actually done as well. So if we're focusing on charging stations, right? For example, which is the major topic for tonight. If we're focusing on charging stations, we have to now know what kind of chargers that we are going to get. And another thing, I hope we remember, or I hope we know that people pay to charge their for charging stations. I will show us a small chart of how much people pay everywhere in the world. And if you're coming up with a bill, who is going to regulate the cap on how much it is to charge on a charging station? If they regulate it as well, it is very, very important that most people are going to have to create the electricity that they are going to put on the charging station, that they are going to supply to the charging station. It can be endless. We might be thinking it is cheaper than fuel. Let me show you how much people pay everywhere in the world for. Let's go here. So let's use Google so that we don't complicate things. So I will be that I'm the one. Okay, my photo color only is okay. It won't be like I'm the one that is just coming up with numbers. All right, so these are just few countries. Now they charge per kilowatt. Here that I am sure that they charge per kilowatt, and how much they charge is between
I'm
0.45
sorry, sir,
cents
to
to
interrupt you. I can't see the screen when you are
Okay.
what you are seeing, sharing. I can't see. I'm sorry, sir.
Okay. This is strange. Oh. Can everybody see this screen? Can any other person not see the screen?
Yeah, we can actually. I can see it from here.
I
Can
can
any
see
other
it.
person
It's
see
very,
it?
it's very, it's very clear. It's very clear. I can see it at my own end. It's very clear.
Okay. Maybe it's network interruption on your end, sir. Okay.
It will still load. It will still load on his end.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe,
So,
maybe you should zoom in. When you zoom in, you will able to see it.
okay, let me just, is it, I've just zoomed in a little bit now. All
Yeah, it's
right.
better.
So,
It's better.
all right. So what we're looking at is these are most countries. Now, Australia charges between 0.45 to 0.70, depending on where you are charging from. That's exactly what most people charge. Now, if you're charging, there's three different types of charging stations, only three that I know of. So now, so this is the different EVs that we have. The BEV is actually a full EV, nothing more. It's battery electric powered vehicle. That's it, nothing more. But there's PHEV, which is the plug-in hybrid. Then there's HEV, which is the non-plug-in hybrid, where it charges the battery from your braking system. So I think they just used heat energy, convert it to electric energy, and do all the nonsense they want to do. Now look at this mild. Then now there's difference between this. So most one, two, three, this PHEV, HEV, and mild, all three of them always come with an engine. So combustion engine comes with them. So let's not go into different. So these fuel cell electric vehicles, these are the hydrogen ones. So this uses fuel as well, but it's hydrogen that it uses instead of petrol, normal petrol fuel. Now there's extended range EV vehicles, there's solar electric EVs. So this is to tell you that there's multiple types of EVs. Which one are we deciding to do? We cannot just say we're working on an EV. Let's be specific. It makes it easier for everybody to know what to bring in. Now, I know in Nigeria, we don't even know what people have brought in. We are just calling everything, we are just putting everything under the umbrella of EV. They are different. Now, the power generation for an HEV, or sorry, a PHEV, which is plug-in hybrid, is different from the power generation of a normal full electric. So if we decide that we are deciding to pull charging stations, now there are different type of charging stations. Their outputs are different. Now, for the AC slow charging system, these ones are the household one that you can plug on your socket and then charge your car. Now, for that one, the power you need is different. That's a 120 volt. So we are saying that how most countries do it is, for any household that has EV, what they have to do is you either connect to the grid directly. You can't connect it through that socket, will not be through your household supply line. You connect it, they'll give you a different power supply from the main source itself, from the wire. They'll bring it down to your house just for EV, nothing else. You can't use it for anything else. They put it into that, and then you're free to do whatever you want to do, so that you're not paying so much for your house one. They give you a separate source. Now, for most people, then decided that, see, instead of paying the government this much, let me just do solar. They do solar in the house, and then they pass solar to that. Perfectly fine. But you can only use this exact charger. No more. You cannot try any other charger. Now they decided that most shopping centers, most estates, if you have an estate, they've decided to start putting EV chargers now. Now, the EV charger they put now is just the fast charger. So the fast chargers are the ones that we know is between 3.3 kilowatts to 22 kilowatts. That's the maximum it's going to take. Now, Australia decided to segment their own. There are spaces where there are suburbs that only uses only fast chargers. They don't have ultra fast charger. The ultra fast chargers are the bigger station, very, very massive ones, like the Tesla ones, like the couple of other BYD doesn't have the bigger one here. Um Tesla mainly is the one who have majority of the big ones, and then the power companies decided to go into the business. So the power companies are the ones who do all the EV chargers. You can partner with them, so you pay them, and then they put the EV charger, and then you get some money off it as well. So all of these infrastructures have already been segmented. They already have a source and where they are going to be. So what I expect, or what we are expecting from the National Assembly before they pass this law, so that there's clarity to all of this, is to say, all right, there's three types of charger. Now, we know that there's one for home, there's one for offices and more, there's one for public charging, there's highway charging, and then we can now do fleets for maybe BRT bus stations that have that uses bigger cars. Anyone who has something as big as that has to go through the BRT stations and then charge your vehicles there. Now, the grid is what is most important. Sorry, we know this is exactly the number that we need for anything that we need to do. This is the amount of current that we need to draw from everybody. Now, let's now say how and where are we going to station a fast charger? Where are we going to station a semi the just the normal ultra fast charger? The home one can be anywhere, so we know everybody stays at home. Now, let's make estates, put maybe 3 or 4 inside them, so that we don't keep drawing current from every angle or everywhere in the state. Let's segment it. Let's see, malls take this, estates, you have to do 3 or 4. Give them the infrastructure to do it, and then give them the constant light to do it. But if the estate decides that they want to do it themselves, and they do solar panel to actually give power to that charging station. Now, what we need to find out is what is going to be the cap. Because if it costs an estate, let's say 50 or 70 or 100 million, I have a chart for average cost as well, which I'm going to share, of what the EV chargers are worth. So let's understand what we're getting ourselves into, because these guys are going to say it cost me 50 million naira to actually build this charging station. Nobody is going to, probably they are going to charge you almost 1,000 per kilowatt if you want to charge, and most people have to go get 200. So you're going to be seeing, okay, 10,000, 20,000. It's going to now be a question of how much did it cost me? And I know in this whole area, I am the only one that is here. So I can decide to charge 5,000. Nobody can stop me, because the government did not provide any infrastructure. So I'm the one who provided my infrastructure. I'm the one who provided my electricity. I did everything. So I can decide to charge whatever I want to charge. So if we're going into EV, let's be sure what the roadmap is, instead of just gambling into it. Now you can see the power output and the charging time. So the time you spend charging at home is between 8 to 9 hours. The time you spend charging at the mall is 3 hours. Now the ultra fast the supercharge, the ultra fast one is 1 hour to 1.5 hours, and then we've got the really, really industrial one. That's between 20 to 30 minutes. Now, this industrial one, it will cost you more to charge on that one. It will cost you more because I think they said I think that one is between 0.70 to about $1 per kilowatt. So we see now that it is not just cheap. It's not like we're not going into the what the green mobility path. The point is, how are we going to get there, and what is it going to cost us? So people who want to go into charging system, this is exactly for you. And you cannot, I don't think they've done the fake ones. So it's not cheaper. It will be very difficult for you to find a cheap one because it is still very, very expensive. Now, let me show you how much most of these things cost so that we we understand where we are going. All right, good. So let me try to see highway charging home. So this is exactly just talking about every single aspect of your charger, what the what the if it's an AC or a DC, the amount of current it needs to charge any vehicle. So this is just a blueprint or a roadmap for everybody who wants to go into EV charging, or most people who wants to structure and work with the government on EV charging. So I've just did something simple to see to so I'll be able to show everybody and say, see, this is exactly what we're looking at. Now let me pull up that one that has the price. Trying to pull up the one that has the price because it is not cheap. It is not cheap at all. I think it's about between 50 to $70,000. Okay, let me just use Google then. If we can't find them there, let's try this one. Average price of EV chargers. So for the home one, it's between $1,000 to $3,000. Now we are sure of that. Now the level two, which is the DC fast charger, which is the second one we see that was saying that okay, it takes between I think 1 to 1.5 hours to charge. So you're looking at $40,000 to $100,000 just for just to make up the station. Now we've not even talked about the infrastructure of you building, putting your own power to charge everybody's car. We're not talking about what NEPA will charge you if you use NEPA, the PHCN guys. Now, this is just a sub breakdown to say that if we have to do it, we have to actually buy the right charger, which is from the manufacturers. It is not like all those parts where we go and make small chargers and just start using them. For now, we might not be able to do that. So if we really want to go into the green mobility, this is what I think we have to do. Maybe yes, some people have found a cheaper way of doing it. Maybe if that's possible, that's wonderful then. But as far as I'm concerned, for this webinar that we're having, this is exactly what you're going to be spending if you decide to go into the fast charging any day, anytime, as of now, until somebody else speaks and says, okay, we have a different way of doing things. Now, this is just a few summary just for charging. So I expect the government to say, okay, good. In each state, federal government wants to have it or state government wants to have it. No problem. Whichever person decides to come up with it is fine. They should give us a clear print of where those chargers are going to be. So it means that we need to make sure PHCN is telling us in Victoria Island, we can only have fast chargers. We cannot have the industrial chargers. We can only have fast chargers. In Maryland, yes, the grid around Maryland is very good. We can have industrial chargers in Maryland. In Ikoyi, give us specifics. Now, whoever wants to now invest in it says that, okay, I want the Ikoyi one because I want to invest in industrial charger. I don't want to invest in fast charger. Fast charging only brings this amount of money. This one brings that amount of money. So that we don't have situations whereby people overcharge for these things. And because you don't have anywhere else to go, you cannot plug in on, if you're on band A in most of these places, and you put it on your electricity bill, you'll be paying a lot of money. So you have your car taking 8 to 9 hours of your power every single day. That will eat it up. So let's have a clear instruction on what we want to do. And let's be sure which EV are we talking about. I think me and Mr. Bamidele was at a webinar on Sunday. They are just generalizing the whole thing. Oh, we are bringing EVs into the country. No, no, no. Let's be sure. We cannot populate our market with full EVs. Let's say the battery powered EVs, the full EVs. If we populate our market with that, where are we going to get all the power to charge them? So we'll start having some areas, because they're charging electric vehicles too much, their transformer goes bad, or whatever the cases may be. In when we start all of these things, why don't we start? Let's say, okay, good. Let's take only 100,000 EVs, and PHEVs we can only do 50,000. HEVs we can only do 30,000. Now let's say, let's use that to test the market. Let's see how it works. If that is not going to pull our grid down further, okay, we've taken 100,000, we've taken, let's say, 2 million cars, and we've seen that it's not too bad. It's not too bad. We keep it at that. And then not every manufacturer should bring vehicles into the system, because the more people bring vehicles into the system, the more we have to worry about how we are going to have to train ourselves to work on these things. I will show you an example. Let me go into, as of now, I am a fully qualified EV technician to work on Toyota vehicles. So Toyota Lexus. Before, I was fully qualified to work on any EV vehicles, which is the general one the government gave to us. But unfortunately, every single manufacturer now decided to say, no, we cannot agree that that is how you do it, because we have done things differently. Now, let me log into my my portal. Now you see, this Azra is the member, these are the guys who give you 100%, who give you the certificate. This is an Australian body that they've put down and say, good, every manufacturer has to go through them, and every technician has to go through them as well, so that everybody is on the safer side. You're not going to attain your certificate the wrong way. So that's why we have to go to Azra. But you can see it's a Toyota website anyway. Now, in order to have this, I had to have the first one, which is the government made one. Now, in this whole context, when I did my trying to look for my dashboard. Now, see, so when I did this training, this particular training, Toyota only made 3 types of EVs: HEV, PHEV, and FCEV, which is the hybrid one. Sorry, the hydrogen one. So they did not teach me anything other than that. So they only mentioned those 3. And if you let me show you something. No, there's another one that I would love to show. Okay, all right. Now this is Azra website. Every time, sorry, let me log in so that we kind of understand what we are getting ourselves into. If not, we're just going to be rushing into it, and unfortunately, we don't make vehicles. Because we don't make vehicles, there's not much we can do about it. 985. All right. Now, you have to do every company one after the other. There's nothing like, oh, you will do everything. Once you do one, you are qualified for everything. No, you have to do Jack separately. You have to do BYD separate. This is BYD. Look at how much it's going to cost you to do BYD. It is going to cost you approximately 5,000 plus every year. This is an every year subscription to work on a BYD if you want to do it right. Now you have to with that 5,000 every month, you will have access to this GDS that VDS that you are seeing. That's the official software that BYD uses. So you get your workshop manual from it, you get everything from it. You'll be able to work on pretty much any BYD. You'll see every single thing. Now, if you have this, there are tendencies that they'll let you do recalls, something like that. So this is how it works. Now, for this Toyota one, I then now found out that if Toyota says their high voltage cable is orange, BYD says their one is probably blue. Mercedes decided to put their own as gray. Somebody else put his own as black. So we cannot generalize it. We cannot say if the government gives you a certificate, or like the one I had, the first one I had, I am eligible to work on anyone. No, because every manufacturer, the architecture is different. Yes, the whole vehicle, the concept is the same, which means it's run by a battery, but their batteries are different. The location of their batteries are different. The location of the switch that actually kills the battery before you work on it is different. So for Toyota, they had to show me every single point where they had, like, there's pretty much no Toyota that I will see, BRZ, anyone. I already know where they always keep their own. It's as simple as that. So the government cannot tell us that they should get these manufacturers to open portals like this for us and say, okay, good, guys, go and do it. I'm sure a lot of us here will want to do it. So I'm only bringing the information according to what I know. Yes, they might do it. They might want to do it differently in Nigeria, but unfortunately, Nigeria don't make the cars. If you don't make it, you cannot make the rules. The people who make it, who made the cars, had already made the rules, so we should all follow it. Another thing we then talked about is training. How are we going to train ourselves? It is very important. We have to train ourselves. If the government is not pulling towards that side of things, wonderful. If I have information, I bring it same way I always bring information to this webinar anytime we're working here. So we have to train ourselves. And now you have already seen how the manufacturers decide to do it. Everybody has to do it separately. Everybody. It's not like you have oh, sorry, this is it. Now you see. This is exactly how you have to do it. You have to click everyone, single. You click them and you go and do it. Alfa Romeo, I have to do everything. So I've done Toyota. I'm doing BYD already. But how many can I do? Hyundai, that one I already know because I used to work there. Volkswagen, I already know because I used to work there. Kia, I already know because I used to work there. Honda, I know, I used to work there. But unfortunately, any other one, I don't. Any other one that you want to say here, I do not have a clue. Yes, I understand how the architecture works, but there are still some certain things that the workshop manual tells you to do and not to do to most cars too. Same way, petrol engines are different. It's the same way this one too is different, unfortunately. So we don't make the cars, we cannot make the rules. So these are major information that should be in the bill to tell us, okay, this is how you do it. Now you see this Bosch. Bosch is the only battery maker that is in this whole list. Other than that, no other battery maker is in this whole list. Now, Bosch is all they do is batteries. Most of these vehicles that you see, Bosch is the one who did their batteries. Now, for most of them, that's why our own first training came from Bosch, because they pretty much cover almost all the cars. They were able to give us a full training on everything, saying that this is what you should be expecting. Now, on battery technology, Bosch is they are more than qualified. I hope everybody knows that all of these people who make cars don't make the batteries. It's different people who make the batteries. So Bosch is like they're top there. They are the ones you need to speak to when it comes to battery technology. That's why they insisted that we did our first stage with Bosch. Now there's a second stage that I'm supposed to do. I think in 2 months or thereabout. So this is exactly how things work. Now, how are we going to get Bosch to come and tell us what they've done in Nigeria? If we can do it, it would be better so that we have clear knowledge on what we're doing. The webinar that I was talking about that were on a Sunday is general. And that's exactly what we're going to be passing. We cannot pass general things. We have every single manufacturer in Nigeria. There's a lot of evil manufacturers that are in Nigeria that I've never seen before. I've never heard of. That they are new people coming into the market, and they're using Nigeria to test their market. It's not bad, it's very good. It means that it will be cheaper and Nigeria will be more competitive. But what we need to make those people do now is make sure that they have a dealership in Nigeria. One, we have not even talked about parts. How are we going to get parts? Most cars, even petrol engines, we are finding it hard to find the parts. We have already brought EV. How are we going to find the parts as well? So the training is very, 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 very important. So that's why I decided to share my screen so that everybody sees. It's not like we're going to be talking and then you're not sure what I'm talking about. We have seen the types of EV chargers that we have. And I think there's only 3 types of EV charger type. That I think there's type 1, type 2, and type 3 or thereabouts. The type 3 is very rare. Tesla has its own separately. Type 1 and type 2, some major BYD, I think BYD is type 2 or type 1 or thereabouts. Now, which one are we, if we have a uniform way of bringing things in, and we say, okay, let's bring type 2 charger only, or let's bring type 1 charger only, it will be easier for people to invest in the infrastructure to say, okay, let's now bring in the EV chargers. Now there's 3 types. Which one do you want to invest in? How many type 1 vehicles do we have in Nigeria? You don't know. How many type 2 do we have? You don't know. How many type 3 you have? We don't know. So it is going to be very difficult to ask people to invest their money. If you invest your money in type 1, and we have more type 2s in the system, what now happens? You now invest in type 2 and type 3. Most people might not have money to invest across the board. You might just want to pick one and then run with it. So information has to be included in our, well, before you pass a bill. Let's be sure. So this one, they should tell us. Every other one, it doesn't matter. Because this one is a new technology. Even most countries are running away from it now. Most here, I will always speak about here because I live here. I know, I see. The law before, they were giving us 30, I think it was 15,000, sorry. They were giving $15,000 off. Every EV vehicle you buy, you don't pay stamp duty as well. You don't pay stamp duty, and they give you about rebate of, I think, about 15,000. US was giving, I think, 7 or 5. Some people get, as it depends on how much the car is worth, and you don't pay stamp duty. Right now, you have to. They've stopped everything. Even Australia has stopped it. It is not sustainable. Australia has stopped it. Now everybody is paying, but you pay your stamp duty, and the stamp duty for that one is more expensive. I drive an HEV. What I pay on rego is more expensive too than a normal 4-cylinder vehicle. You can see that they tricked us to get everything only for us to now be paying more. That's exactly what they are going to do exactly to us in Nigeria too. The script is the same everywhere in the world. The script is the same. So let's just know that if you're going into it, these are the things you have to put into consideration. That's why we're having this webinar. Let's be sure, not that you go and buy one and then the resale value is bad. You cannot resell it as much as you resell a normal petrol engine ICE car, because not everybody wants an EV. That's another downside to it. So the downside to it is not really much. That's not what we're here to do. The government has passed it. The government has passed it. So this is just my own few concerns that we have said, okay, let's break it down for you. Let's add it to what your bill says. So when you are passing the law, we are clear on what we want to invest our money on. So other than training, we already seen training, the cost and the barriers, the energy. We've talked about energy. I don't know how they want to do it. Maybe they have a clear plan that they need to let us know, because you have to give people who are investing in those infrastructures, you have to give them incentives as well. Number one, either you give them the land, or you tell NEPA that anybody that is doing the infrastructure on that, the government will subsidize it, just so that we get a lot of charging stations around. That's the best way to actually get more charging stations around quicker. Policy risk, safety environment for battery disposal. That one is on its own. Battery disposal, the more vehicles you have in the system, I hope everybody knows that every manufacturer only makes those vehicles. If they give you 7 years warranty, every single part that they've made, they make sure it will last you 7 years. After 7 years, you start having problems with most of those cars. What are we going to do with batteries? The webinar we did the other day that I was mentioning that me and Bamilili was part of, one of the professors there shared a video of how they melt batteries in Ghana. It is very terrible. So what are we going to do with those batteries? So I expect the government 100% to say, okay, good, make up a scrapyard. This end of life, the bill that they passed, instead of stressing yourself, use that end of life to make up a scrapyard. Anytime those batteries are dead and they cannot be resuscitated, or you cannot do anything with it, you send it there. So we are sure that it's being disposed the right way. That's all we can do. That's another thing. That's another idea for them to think about. Make up somewhere where they can dump all the batteries. Now you can then sort the batteries and then start breaking them down properly. So pretty much, there's not, every other thing is things that are normal, that should be part of the bill, which some of them are already part of it. But clear terms on what we are following and how we are going to put this thing together is what we're here to discuss now. So this is not, this webinar is just me. I've just shown most of the things. This webinar is not for me to speak all through. This webinar is for everybody to come up and say, okay, I think I have a better idea, or I can do this. There's a different way to do this. Oh, Mr. Banjo, don't worry. There's a way to do this. We can do it this way. We can do it that way. Let everybody come up and speak. If not, it is going to affect everybody. So pretty much, let me not take too much of our time. I think I've spoken enough. So let me just leave the floor to people of like minds who can now come up with ideas. Or if you have things you want us to include in the bill that we want to send to the Senate, it'd be wonderful. Please say it. We're here to all collaborate together and make things better. Not this is not a one-man show. This is everybody coming together and making things all good. Please. I'll pass it on back to Bamidele. Bamidele, please. If anyone wants to say anything, please raise up your hand.
Thank you, sir. Thank you both for the detailed analysis as always. Yes, so I have just one hand raised. Please, if you want to ask any question, please raise your hand so you can join the queue. If you want to make contributions or ask questions, please raise your hand. If you want to raise your hand, you see three buttons at the three dots at the bottom of your screen. If you are using your phone, you will see an hand. When you click it, you'll be able to ask your question. So let me just go to the queue. Please let us, so that we don't take much time, so that we can round up quickly. Please, if you have questions, please join the queue quickly so we know. So we don't take too long. Mr. Jeremiah Ikechukwu. Mr. Jeremiah,
Okay, sir.
there's a lot of noise in your background.
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm here. Guys, can you hear me now?
Yes, please
Okay,
go on, sir.
so first, guys, I have a question to Mr. Benga regarding what he said. He mentioned something like that is type 1 and type 2 chargers. So I want to, that is to get it clearly. When he says type 1 or type 2 chargers, is it speaking about the charging connectors, or is speaking about the that is the charging levels, that is for AC, AC type 1, AC type 2, or DC fast chargers? Before and I can say what I want to say. So don't know if you can answer that quickly. Hello?
Oh, sorry. Oh, can you hear me? Yes, I was trying to share what I was talking about. So the type 1 and type 2 charger are the charging connectors. So you know how the charging connector that you plug into your Tesla is different from the one you plug into BYD. So those are the charging connectors.
Yes.
So they are different. Yes, that's what I was talking about.
Okay, so and I get you on that. So charging technology, that is charging technology for EVs, that is by have overcome that stage because there was a location that we installed. We installed a 60 kilowatts EV charger that comes with a GBT charging connector. So there's an adapter that can take in GBT and send out CSS or send out NAS. That is right now. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so in that aspect, that solution has been solved. So we don't need to, that's like to be bothered about the type of charger that we are bringing in. Just that the EV owners can also get a charging adapter that might be compatible with it, because GBT connectors are most of the major types of charging connectors that we have. There is the GBT connector. with the help of adapter. Just like one can get an adapter that can take in Type C to iPhone. So that challenge has been overcome. So I don't think that investors towards the EV chargers should see that as a disadvantage. So that's just what I want to say on that. Hope you get it.
Yeah, see, I completely understand you. See, the purpose of this webinar is not for you, For me, I know. Most people who would invest in things like that will not know. Majority of them will not have a clue. Do you understand? So this is for us to, you are speaking as somebody who has installed one. I have not installed one, but I know the types of chargers that we have. So this is just a forum to say, oh, okay, I know you guys shouldn't worry about that. I know there are connectors, I know there are adapters, but whether those adapters are brands that are not before, I don't know. So that's why I was saying that, okay, are we going to be doing this? Okay, I know there are adapters. Now, the adapters kind, every single people that is in Nigeria already have an adapter that we can use. Wonderful. So we know that that is already solved. So let's start pinpointing all of these problems. And I doubt that people in national assembly know that it's already solved. A couple of people have come up with that idea and they've gone to bring the connectors in. Wonderful. You understand where we are going? This is for us to come and give information.
Yes, I get it.
Information is what helps us now. You have solved that problem. Wonderful. Now let's move to another one. So if you have anything else, please go ahead.
Not really, but just that issue of facts. Do you have an idea or if there's any information about what the government is doing that is concerning EV parks?
Brother, I do not have any information. So these are the things we are submitting to them and saying that, see, before we flood our system so much that it is impossible for us to keep up, why not insist that these manufacturers, they are manufacturers, they are bringing it in, good, then hold them in their balls saying that you want to come and sell in my system, please, you need to have a dealership. 100%. Get a dealership so that we can find where to buy the part. Because if you flood my system with discounts, how am I going to fix them? Even before you now start even saying fixing, you are talking about part. Who is going to fix the part? That's another question. Do you understand? So these are major. So now we've had some couple of ideas saying that, okay, this one has been solved, but we have other parts that has never been solved. So that's pretty much what we're saying. So I don't have any information about that. So we're just going to send it and hope that they will have an explanation for it.
Okay, sir. So lastly, before I write and I drop it is for the issue of power source. Because that is one of the challenges that we are having in installing is the aspect of power source. Like now, there was a charger that was open for charging, but most times because it is a DC charger that uses single phase. So most times there's always single phase which is failure on one line. And once there's failure on one line, that is gone. So the solution was to get a transformer. But even getting a transformer, it is very difficult to request for a transformer and to have a constant supply. Like for example now, for an EV charging station now, that would be in a very that like let me say that we want to get about 10 or 20 EV chargers in a location. That is, I'll prefer we get a transformer of 30 kVA that can be stepped down to that like to fit into what we are working on because there is constant supply of 30 kVA. But the issue is getting those transformers. What is the government doing to make it easy for us to access all these important things? Because if we have to place our charging stations on normal that is like normal residential transformers or or even in industry, it is having to be low. So I believe that there should be a separate transformers for EV stations. So I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense because for DC charging, we deal with 40 kilowatt, 60 kilowatt, one 60 kilowatt EV chargers. So that is if that can be added to the view of how the government cannot want to getting power supply that's for EV chargers. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's exactly what we are talking about. So if you remember, I mentioned that how are we going to create a power supply? How is very important. So whether they give me, I was of the opinion that see the land should be given. Give people land allocations to say, okay, this parking lot belongs to the government. We are giving it to Mr. So and so. Put 4 EV chargers there and have fun. The government gets their share and everybody gets their one. The land is very important because you cannot just go and plant it anywhere. That's number one. Number two is going to now be where are you going to get the power supply? Now, you can either make a power supply for it, which means you do a solar inverter, do everything, and put your own power supply there.
That is for the low. Okay.
So you can actually
that
get
for the
up to
locations
even
now.
for the fast chargers, the one between 1 hour to 1.5 hours to charge to 80%. We can still make a
Yes.
power supply for that. But you see that industrial one, that biggest one, I don't think you would have you'll be able to make enough power supply for that. Do you understand? So that's why segmenting into suburbs makes sense. It means that people who we are sure will be able to take the industrial one, they should tell us what suburb. Say, okay, if it is Ikoyi, it has to be Falomo, or it has to be Isaac Jones, or somewhere around there. So we know that, okay, if I want to invest in this particular charger, this is the particular suburb I need to go. But if I want to invest in just the fast charger, which is the 1.5 hours, it's not that much. We can then say, okay, let's make a power supply. So you can then segment them and tell them anybody who wants to make industrial charger, we will give them power. But anybody who wants to make fast charger, we'll give it to you. You can make your own. Please make your own so that it reduces the amount of people on the grid. So segmenting it and telling us how, which means PHCN has to come on. PHCN has to be on the floor, telling us precisely what we need to do, how we are going to do it. If you want to give us transformer, step it down, give us at a cheaper rate, because what we are using it for is just exactly that. And if the government gives you all of this infrastructure, it means that they have to put a cap to how much you can charge the citizens as well. So, Mr. Jeremiah, I hope you understand what we are talking about.
Yes, I get you very much, and I love the fact that we are identifying the problems and trying to see possible solutions. So there was one thing which you mentioned about getting the locations, about government getting some that like some government reserved land and there are investors for that for the EVs. But why are we not looking towards this land? There are some industries or businesses that have this space. Like, like for example, now we have some shopping malls that they have their parking space. People park in there. Why don't we just go into agreement with guys like with the owners of those locations? Kindly rent me this space for me to charge EVs. So I install my EVs there and open it up for the public. So people that comes to their mall to get things like shopping, sorry, like shop price. We have places like that, although there is one EV charger that was in sort of recent at at Ikeja Computer Village. So there are still some businesses that have space. Like for examples now, we have some banks like UBA banks now bank that one at Marina, they have parking space. Just go into an agreement, rent a portion there that this portion is meant for EV chargers. Sorry, that is for EV vehicles to come there and charge. And we provide the power supply, get the connection, and sell it out. So there are various ways which we can get the space that can be less expensive. Yeah, because if we look at getting lands, you are getting new lands, and there are some locations that are very populated. For you to get the space in that place, or say you want to buy a land there, that will cost you even more. So and I believe that let's make use of what we have in a very that say economical way to achieve a better goal. Let me just say it that
Mm,
way.
yeah. Half of the places that you are mentioning, most of them are owned by the government, or the government has one affiliation or the other. So that's why I say if the government does the negotiation on our behalf, because if you go to Shoprite can decide to charge you 5 million a year. Top price charges you 5 million a year. UBA charges you 1 million a year. You understand? It is now up to their discretion to charge you whatever they want to charge. But if the government says that we are passing this law, we are the ones who gave you the land. State governments give you all this land. Wonderful, no problem. But you have to accommodate EVs, please. We
Yeah.
need you to accommodate people. You understand? It's easier when the government comes in instead of you going by
Yes.
yourself. That was kind of what I was talking about. Anyway, so but yes, all of these are valuable. That's what we're here to talk about. So please let's let someone else ask another question before we go too far. Thank you so much, Mr.
Yes,
Jeremiah.
sir. So thank you, Mr. Jeremiah. I think Mr. Mufutao was raising his hand second. I don't know why I dropped you up. Mr. Mufutao Kolawole, was that a mistake that you dropped your hand? Or maybe they have addressed what you wanted to ask. So please raise your hand again because your hand is no longer here. Okay, Mr. Mufutao is back. Okay, please unmute your mic because you were the second to raise your hand earlier. Mr. Kolawole,
Yeah, good.
yes,
I greet
please
everybody.
go on, sir.
I greet our brother. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can
We
hear
can
you,
hear
sir.
you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, with the little experience I have about the charging cost in Nigeria here. So, likewise, we have a company called Corey. So I think they are the one in charge of I don't know, maybe some people will be coming across of Cab Zero. That's a mobility one green car. It's Uber and Bolt. So I think about their charging prices there. They have two charger machines. They have the slower one and the faster one. So the faster one charge you from 0 to 100. Let's say 1 hour, 10 minutes. Per
Oh,
kilowatt is
that's
500 naira.
see,
Other
that's
one is 300 naira for the slower one. Take you at least 4 hours to 5 hours thereabout.
Yes.
That's the that's the what I know about the charging a electric car in Nigeria here, and they have like almost about 5 places in Nigeria. They have at Marina, about 20 Marina. They have at Sheraton Hotel in Ikeja. They have at Marriott in Ikeja. They have at Jera Mall in Ikeja. Those ones are faster charger. So once you get
Okay.
there, 31 hour, you get charged left. And then they'll have another one at Adodel Deco.
Yeah.
That's my own contribution. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Mufta. Now you see how they segment it. They cannot put fast charger in everywhere, but because the output on most places is different, so they pick some very few places and put fast charger, and then you pick some other places and put the, because you have to understand that there are people who come to VI. If, for example, if I was doing VI, I will not put fast charger because most people come to work and stay there. So if they come to work and stay there, put the maybe 12 volt, the 12 kilowatt one, and that one will charge between 5 to 6 hours, 4 to 5 to 6 hours, depending on what you want to do. Do you understand? So, but in some places, people are going through. If they are going through, you put the fast charger. So those architectures are what we are now asking. So now it means that that company knows something we do not know. It means they already have spoken with PHCN to understand what chargers to put in where. Wonderful. So companies like that are companies we become, the government needs to tell us what the blueprint is. This is exactly what we're looking for. So if any other day that we have somebody, or maybe the owner of the company wants to speak about why he's put some fast charger somewhere and he decided not to put it in a different place, that might be a better, that would really help us. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, Mr. Mufta, for that information. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Aboluwari, Israel. Mr. Israel, are you there, sir? Mr. Aboluwari.
All right, good evening, sir. Good
Good
evening,
evening, sir.
everyone.
Good
It's
evening, sir.
nice being here. Okay, so I'm a new player in the mobility industry, and sustainability and green energy is very focal to our mission as a company. And of course, when you talk about that in the mobility, you talk about EVs being EVs come very handy in what we do. All right, so but one thing that we've always been thinking about and we are trying to crack before we dabble into it is the waste management system, and that's why I'm really excited with this forum, with this discussion. All right, is there a way that the government or players can include circular economy in the scheme of things in this discussion? Because one of the things, well, one of the biggest challenge that we see, or one of the biggest fear that we see, is the process of managing waste. Mr. Gbenga mentioned it while he was presenting about how do we dispose batteries, for example. Sorry, excuse me. How do we how do we dispose batteries, when they are out of life cycle? How do we dispose different parts of EV electric vehicles when they are off cycle? So I think waste management should be a very important part of the ecosystem that we are talking about, because if we don't do that, then talking about um, saying that we are working on sustainability will be defeated, because at the end of the day we're going to litter our environment with wastes. So what I'm saying is that is there a way that circular economy players can come into system? Is there policies that can be made to add these players into scheme of or scheme of work or plans that we are having for this for this bill? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, see, this is part of why we're here. So, anybody who feels that you have the power, you have the money, you have anything. We mention every single problem that we have, and then we start treating them one by one. Everybody who comes here gets something off and say, I think I want to go into this particular section because there's a lot of business opportunities in this whole system. Yes, no problem, but you have to know what to do and how to do it. So, but unfortunately, we don't have any other thing. So, this what you've just mentioned now, we're going to include it in the bill so that please give us a clear path. How do we dispose the batteries? Where do we dispose the batteries? And who is going to be in charge of us disposing most of these batteries? Please, that's exactly what we're here to do. So that will be added to the bill, and we'll send it. And let's hope they're going to give us a desirable answer to that. So Vamide, back to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Engineer Dapo. Are you there, sir? Engineer?
Yeah. Hello.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for Vehicle Check for setting up this webinar. I just, came across it. I remember the last time I made presentation, there was supposed to be a WhatsApp group to alert us when you have webinars or something like that, but I didn't get included. I don't know if that WhatsApp group still exists. So please, if you can, so that I can get updates. Okay, so going back to the topic, it's very timely. I represent an association known as the Electric Mobility Promoters Association of Nigeria, and so when I saw this topic, I said, "Wow." So we reached out. The bill, as you would all know, has gone through the second reading at the Senate. So we reached out as an association to the stakeholders along that the bill, and I think we had some meetings late December with some officials of the National Assembly on how we can put our input, or what's the to know how far the bill has gone. So I think we are waiting. It should be what they call the public hearing, where the different stakeholders can get invited to come and put their own input, to have their own input into the bill. And so what you're doing now is very timely, and so it's a good one for our country, trying to look at how all these things can help, and we are at MPAN is also doing that. Now, numerous speakers have spoken about so many things, which I wouldn't want to repeat, but I think I will take the last part, start from the last part, the circular economy. So it's important because the battery goes through the first life, the second life, and then end of life, which is you now have to recycle. So those chain has to be taken into account. As we know that electric e-mobility sector is a multi-sectorial thing, deals with energy, deals with the automobile itself, deals with the environment and all of that. So it's why all the stakeholders have to be, every hands have to be on deck. So with regards to this circular economy, I remember something came up. There was an event last year also with the Standards Organization of Nigeria. So as a matter of fact, there's now what we call the National Technical Committee on Electric Mobility in Nigeria. And what is that supposed to achieve? To look at the standards that we need, because, just like our Oga here mentioned a number of things in terms of what is obtainable in different parts of the world. Also, we need to be able to know that Nigeria is not going to be a dumping ground, so we need to adopt a standard that works for our environment. So this was set up, and I would want to, by extension, see how people from the vehicle check team, after now, if you can reach out, because I'm the vice chairman of that committee. We have 4 working groups now that is working on those aspects to see if we can have our input in those working groups, to see if we can add you up to provide your own input. We have electric vehicle standards working group, we have the charging infrastructure working group, we have the grid integration, and we have the conformity assessment. So as it relates to this conformity, which is where the circular economy is, we identified NESRIA. NESRIA is an agency of government. I think NESRIA is Nigeria Environmental Standards Regulatory Agency. So because battery is key, what happens after the battery? You can no longer use it for EV. That's the first life. You can now repurpose it, maybe for energy storage. After that, you want to dismantle, you want to dismember it, and then to go through that process. So, and we know that these metals could be very dangerous to human health. So this is very important. So that's being said about infrastructure. The EV space is just growing, and the energy component of it, just like you mentioned, the TCN as well as the discos, the distribution companies need to know, because they know where their feeders are, where do we have the regular supply, where should you have the different level of charger, level 1, level 2, level 3, and they can also, give advisory. While the government, who is the owner of land, which reside in states, they can say, okay, we can partner with you. Let's give you allocate lands. This is what you do. And so there's whole lot happening in this space. And so I don't want to take other people's time, but I want to also leave opportunity for people on this call who have varying interest in working on national technical standards, to be able to reach out after this call to say they want to become, or they want to know more about it, how to be part of it, so that we can all put all this, what we are doing, to, instead of talking, to put some of them into action, so that when those standards are out, you can be sure that, okay, this area is not left undone, so that our input can really matter. I think on that note, I want to thank you once again, organizer, for this opportunity to speak here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. A quick one, Mr. Dapo, please. Now, one thing I want us to put into consideration is, in the working committee, most of the problems we have is that we have scholars. We have scholars who are professors and all of that, but they've not worked on the car. They don't know what exactly those cars, how they work, what they need to do when those things are working. And most of the technical committees that we've seen, I have been previewed to see the curriculum that was made up. Mr. Idowu shared a program that was held in Lagos. So I was previewed to now see the end product of that program. They came up with a full curriculum for training in Nigeria. But unfortunately, they left one very important key thing out, which is battery technology. And that's the only thing that we added to it. So there's a lot that...
Sorry, it's a very serious matter to talk about EV and not talk about the battery technology, which is the
That's
driver.
the point. When I saw the whole curriculum, I was like, hold on, then what exactly are we doing if you're not talking about battery technology? Which is fine. Yes, it can be omitted, we can make mistakes with that. It's fine, it's not a problem. So that's why we all come together and say, no, you missed this, you omitted this, let's add this, let's add that. Now, but the only problem that we now have is that every manufacturer is different. Every single manufacturer does it differently. What do? Why don't we hold these same manufacturers that are selling the cars to actually give us the blueprint of what they are doing, which is the workshop software? That solves all the problem we have. Now, because majority of the people who are making these rules or who are in those positions do not even have a clue that those things exist, how do we now balance it? Because these people come to Nigeria knowing fully well that it doesn't work. See, I'll give you an example. There's a company called Transion. I'll call their name. There's no point saying that.
I know Transion.
You know, Transion is the one who, they are the owner of Techno and all of. You know that they've started importing EV vehicles into Nigeria.
Yes, I know.
Good. Now, those EV vehicles, when they wanted to start, They contacted us and said, see this. And I told them, I gave them all these conditions. I see, these are the things you have to do. No doubt. But you know what they did? They went through the back, they started importing without doing any of those things that we talked about. So the people who gave them the license, the people who gave them the rules, just go ahead and bring it in and come and dump it in. Whatever happens, they're just going to pack their bags and go home. We are the ones that are going to have to deal with it. So the people who are in those committees do not have a clue that those things exist. So what do we do then?
Okay, let me give you something.
Okay.
Yeah, so I understand your point. So we, as you would know, that MPAN is a coalition of stakeholders in the e-mobility space. So they are corporates. That means they are businesses, either assemblers, manufacturers, energy service provider, battery as a service, e-ride hailing services, researchers, consultants in this regard. Now, it's actually the SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria, who reached out to us, having seen some of what we have done based on recommendation. And so what we did was to see, let's reach out to our stakeholders who are practitioners. That's why I'm extending that to us here. You can't put vehicle check, out of the loop. I don't know how we missed that loop at the time, but then it's not too late to join. I'm trying to put up some contacts, how you can reach out, so that we can be part of this. Why? Because we are the practitioners. And part of the problem we are trying to solve with these standards is to make sure that this country does not become a dumping ground. Just like you mentioned the case of Transsion, I know them when they brought in their EVs. I know a few officials, but I didn't know when and the processes, but I just saw them around here in Nigeria and they are getting to the market. But then to make sure that Nigeria does not become a dumping ground, we have reached out to the people that you know, people like the chairman of the committee, for instance, is a professor from University of Lagos, is the head of EV team. They have an EV whatever, which I've gone there to see in Lagos. And so we also have other people who are practitioners, myself, an e-mobility consultant, and so many other technical people who are working on the field. So for me, I believe the more the merrier, where people are able to, bring their expertise, people have handled something, they have seen some faults, so that we do not transmit the error, so that we can arrest it at the inception. So I want to assure you that the people in this committee, people working in the working group, are people on the field and people who know. But then it's still by my own power, I'm trying to see how to bring in more people so that we can have better standards and regulations for Nigeria.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. This is just one of the things, at least I'm asking those questions so everybody can have a clue what we're doing here too. So another thing that we should please, sir, put it in mind, even if it is a couple of your people, just even if it's 2 or 3, let's get them trained, let's get them certified and trained, because you cannot get certified and trained in Nigeria. Nigeria don't make the cars. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. Let them go out and get certified and get trained. If they do that, it will enhance, or it will make your policies better, because you would 100% understand, because a professor knows how it works but has never worked on it. A professor doesn't know what we go through in the workshop. It's a terrible thing to fix most of those cars. An ICE engine is so terrible that, if you ask most mechanics that, do you want to work on a Range Rover, or you want to pick another profession, they would rather pick another profession than work on the Range Rover. Do you understand? So these are our own daily views of cars, because we are the ones who work on them. So that's why it pains me a lot when I'm talking like this. It's not like I'm against anything, but it's just the pain
in getting things properly. Yes.
There are times where they will put 4 bolts. You want to lose 4 bolts. The part is accessible. They will put 3 in a very, very perfect point. They will put the last one in. You have to take 6 things out to just get that last one.
Wow.
You understand? So that's where me I'm speaking from anyway. But let's get people qualified.
Yeah. So on the last point, on that
Yes,
training, so
yes,
this is what we have spoken to our stakeholders. We have a number of those who have signed. They have original OEM either from China mostly, and this is what we talk to them about. You need to build capacity, local capacity. Why? Because and that is training and retraining, because EV is a piece of how do I call it now? It's not just a vehicle like that. It's a piece of technology itself.
yes.
So you talk about when you want to upgrade software and all of that, things are, things, new things coming up. So we say, make sure you get, as part of your partnership arrangement, have what we call the training component that comes with it. Either you take your people out or you bring those people in and then continuously train them, because when those things are being used, those vehicles are being used in Nigeria, you don't need to now start calling China. Oh, we have a breakdown. How do we resolve it? No, it make mess of the whole thing. So it's a very key part of
That's
the.
where the workshop manual works from. So when you get the workshop manual, what happens is, see this Toyota workshop manual that I shared now. If there's any vehicle that has a major problem, now there's a recall saying that there's fire on there's a particular vehicle, I say, okay, BRZ 2025, they are doing recall on them for fire hazard, no problem. What happens is, it comes up on that workshop manual. If anyone goes on fire, I already know what to do. I know what recall to do. Do you understand, sir? So where we are going is, I want to give you another idea. The problem is, China is not the leading training. When it comes to training and working on it, China is backward. Do you understand? The people who are right at the forefront is Europe. Unfortunately, Europe is leading in this. China, when it comes to manufacturing, they are right at the forefront. But when it comes to training and leading how to fix things, they are way backward. So I don't want us to use China as a standard, because they go to Europe to train. Do you understand? So
Yeah, I
let's
got
have that at the back of our mind.
All
That's
right.
okay. I know China is where we go for BYD. We need to go to China for BYD. But there are still some major technologies that BYD uses that is from Europe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So
All right. Thanks, Vicky. I
thank
appreciate
you, sir.
that.
Right,
All
sir.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Engineer Depo. We are going to add you to the group. I actually thought you're on the group already. I apologize for that. The team is going to add you. Yes, sir. Doctor too has been on the group, so we'll add you too. Thank you, sir. Okay. GNI Orthodox, are you there, sir? How are you today, sir? You're welcome. Are you with us? Kindly unmute your mic, please.
Yes, 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 Mr. Bamidele. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, my co-coordinators. I
Yes, sir.
hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
We can hear you.
All right. And many thanks to the vehicle check community who has put this whole lot together. It was just as if you were beginning to see what would happen even right before they happened. So I really respect and I admire the fact that you were able to be on ground. Uh, a lot of things have been said, but I think Mr. Benga particularly has been speaking on the inside. He's speaking from the technical aspect of the whole lot. And what this means is, being the fact that Mr. Benga is a technical oriented minded person, he could see lot of problems. Personally, I'm already seeing a lot of problems. And my own number one point of talk is, I could remember back then in Dubai. I'm just trying to use Dubai as an example, because I was fortunate to got trained for EV in Dubai. So before Dubai accepted EV into the country, the number one the number one conception to iron out was EV was directly a threat to the oil industry. It was actually just a direct threat to the oil and gas industry. But the question is, okay, but the world is fast growing beyond what we can hold or what we can settle for less for. And this automatically means if a nation is not coping with the technological growth, it's beyond fast. It's just magical growth around the technology. So a nation that is not prepared would have no room to fit in. So what am I saying exactly? So when this deliberation was going on, whether to accept EV, it was Tesla in particular then. Tesla exactly. So they came up with an idea. Okay, how do we manage charging stations? How do we manage the cars? What are the risks, technical risk attached to this car? So the first thing Dubai government did was to tell Tesla, bring in expertise to train our people. So luckily for me, one of my company happens to be one of the company that was recommended, and I happen to be one of the nominated staff. This was how I got trained for EV. Now, after the training, we went back to our various workshops. Going back to our various workshops, we started observing Tesla. So behold, Tesla failed. The first set production of Tesla as an EV failed. Some will just automatically they will be working, but they just go on fire. They caught fire on highways. Sometimes they just shut down. Sometimes we have problem accessing software database to upgrade these cars. So technically, Tesla need to quickly send a, a technical manual to start to correct those things. So technically, we start to ask questions. What have they not done right? Okay, what exactly is the problem? We realize that Dubai happens to be a highly temperated zone, like a hot zone that Tesla cooling system could not sustain or could not control. So with the technician, we realized that, okay, the manufacturer might not have considered the fact that this area or this particular country would be buying from us. So they should have been a different prototype to be made for this particular nation. Of course, Tesla was manufactured in America, so America must have considered their own environmental factors and made the car to be suitable and usable for their own region only. So, but now Dubai is buying. So environmental factor tells on that particular car. So at the end of the day, we realized that, okay, cooling system is just the problem. So battery got overheated. After overheating, they got exploded. And what it means is there are no repairable options, or the other thing is you have to shipping back the car to the manufacturer, or you go for your warranty. So at this point, I'm asking myself, here we are in Nigeria, what is the laid down plan or the structural plan for technicians who had been into the system for so many years? The reality remains the same. Mr. Bengba has spoken so well on that. An average Nigerian technician, the moment you bring in a car of 2020 model, you are already off track. The car is already a threat to their own integrity. But it's not an easy thing to say that I cannot handle this car. Some these days they just okay, Baba, we don't have the right tools for this car, just to have an answer to the fact that, okay, we cannot fix this car. So my own side of the matter is, what is the government putting on ground for these people? Because neglecting technicians who are likely to be the backbone to this technology. even from right now, for as long as those cars start to run on the street or in the on the Nigerian ground, they are likely to face certain challenges technically. So if we are not having access to the blueprint on or how do we manage this technology, definitely we are already being put in a blind spot. And being positioned in a blind spot simply means we are Mr. Novice. No matter what you know, technically, you cannot your self technicality cannot help you identify the shutdown switch, because there are procedures require immediately an electrical shutdown, or there is any malfunction on electric cars to save the passengers and to equally save the people in that environment. Because explosion of battery simply means another hazard to every living person around the environment. Definitely, battery by nature is acidic, so an explosive battery
Joe,
would definitely
Joe,
splash all over.
Joe.
Are you there, sir? Hello.
You can go ahead,
Yes, we
please.
can hear you, sir. We can hear you, sir.
All right. So to summarize my points, I'm just trying to check. Number one, what is the structural plan from the government about the existing technician on how to get them educated? I would agree with the fact that if there is a control measures or an avenue through which existing technicians will get educated. Secondly, second thing is, what are we doing? Uh, Merging the the oil and gas and the electrical. These two sectors are good and fine. Other nations might have been able to manage them. I'm still struggling to agree with the fact that these two sectors can coexist peacefully in Nigeria. So these are my two area of questions. So I'll be glad if I have more clarity from the coordinator and every members of the group. Thank you, sir.
Okay, should we let other people ask questions so that we can just put it all together? Bamdele, what do you think?
Yes, sir. That works, sir.
Okay.
Mr. M or you, Mr. Ejimofo, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening,
Okay.
everybody.
Please go on, sir. Sorry, sir. Before you go on, so in case maybe someone makes a comment and or asks a question and you have answers also, please, you can always signify maybe in the chat so that we know that you also want to speak on it, so we can have you too. Thank you, Mr. Ejiofor. Please go on, sir. Mr.
Yeah,
Ejimofo, pardon me. Please go on, sir.
yes. Thank you, everybody, for having me here. I'm so happy to be here, and it's such a wonderful environment. I'm not calling it meeting, I'm calling it an environment because it's huge. Yeah, I want to start with the area, thanking you guys for, it means a lot of people have been making good research and using their technicality to bring about solutions. But the area I want to come in from is how do we create our own market, not modeling it, because the EV environment now is based on, should I say, personal. I want to cut costs, or for a business or an individual who does not want the like the combustion environment, which is standing on queue and all of that. And this is the environment we should look at, because most times we are looking at only the vehicle part. We have other means of transport, like we have trucks, the semi truck, the little buses, and we have the okadas. But you see, the commercial part of it, because the area we are seeing now are the people from the E3 sector, what's it called? The dispatchers and all of that. That is the environment we are seeing. We've not really seen it in the mainstream, like the the Kekemara guys, the Keke guys, they are standing on the street and all of that, because we've not been able to look for how to structure it for them. Though there are some in Lagos, I think early last year we are seeing them. But right now, I believe they will be having some difficulties because of that. And immediately you were saying those things, I begin to envision, because in the oil sector, we have the upstream, downstream, storage, and distribution. The same thing, if we want to create a market for ourselves in this line, because I'm a power guy in the telecom sector, though I've not come into the vehicle part, but we also deal with huge batteries and all of that. And I think for us to be able to control it, for us to be able to manage it, for us to be able to regulate it, we can now, in every state or in every local government or in every major place, we can have like a mega station where we put as our storage. Then from that location, anybody who registers for distribution will now be able to have access to pick up maybe a storage battery to take to their location, so that we can be able to dispense this thing for easy access. Because one of the reasons for EV is like removing anything concerning queue. People who just want to be doing their business fluently, who really don't want any issue or downtime. So we could be able to access them, so that whatever manufacturer, because so many manufacturers will be coming in. So we don't want to get ourselves stressed with manufacturers, but we want to be able to render them services that they need. So now, if we have a mega station, then whoever registers will build we now have a business point. So from that mega station, we can now carry a storage battery to the business point. So from that business point, that person would now be able to service the people, whoever around that vicinity. And I'm happy that is where the connector comes in, connector 1, connector 2, and all of that. So it will be able to, it will give us access, and simplicity for people who are, the Okada guys, they are so dense in one location. You understand? The Kekemara guys, they are so dense in one location. The commercial buses too, they are so dense in one location. We want to be able to come inside that market, break inside that market, because that is where the money is. Break inside that market. We can also have a regressive point for other this thing, like the big guys, the big vehicle and all of that. But we should be able to break into the commercial market. And that is one of the ways. And I'm so grateful that the last guy who spoke, he spoke very well on the technicality, which is very, very important. That when they are coming, we should try to have their blueprint, understand, and also be able to study the health of the battery even before charging it for them. So we know what to put, because there are some tires you can put in 45 PMS and 46 and all of that. So same the battery, you cannot use fast charger for all of the batteries, even though the person wants you to use a fast charger, they cannot put fast charger. So when we check the health, we will know the type of charger to use for the safety of that battery, and be also to render them services like advisory service, like your battery is getting down. This is the reason why we cannot put charger. It may explode. It needs time to change and all of that. So even the service point, like the distributor now, will be able to advise the car owner or the person is running the service, though, this your battery don't need to change, or within this time, try to change them, because he also is protecting his business. Because if we should have an explosion, we don't lose one customer with that, and we don't want that, and they'll be scared. We don't want that. Just like the CNG, when they begin to have explode, they don't lose one customer with that. Back to the combustion again, which we are trying to drag customer out from. So I think this is what I just want to say. I don't know if what I said makes sense, but this is an environment I love so much. I will just be walking around and I will be seeing business opportunities when I'm going, because I've worked so many things, And before I came into this telecom as a power guy. So when I'm walking around, I see business opportunities. When I'm walking around the Okada stand, when I'm walking around the Kekama stand, when I'm walking around the park, when I'm walking around so many, I see business opportunity. How do we access this market? So when we have a mega station, which is the storage ground, we cannot take from the storage ground and bring to our station point and be able to serve them. I think that's one of the ways. So this is what I have to contribute. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm grateful to everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Marga, I think you should respond to the two so that we don't have so many
Okay.
pending
So
questions.
see, Mr. GNNI Orthodox. See, unfortunately, like I said, the best way to go is always have workshop manual. There's no other way. So there's something we call TSB. It's called technical service bulletins. Mr. GNNI should know that. So what you do is, if there's a problem in any part of the country, so let's say for example the GDI engines on the Hyundais. So when the Ionics, if you know Hyundai, the electric cars, it's called Ionic. When the Ionics came out the first time, so they just keep going off. They'll just go dead on the road while you're driving. Will just go dead, and then they have to always bring it back to Hyundai. So until we found out that there's a particular cable that melts every single time, so we just put it as TSB and then take photos, write a story, put it on the TSB. Now, what the manufacturer decided to do was to now tell us to change the whole cable. So everybody had to change the whole cable. So it now became a recall to come back in. So that's the best way to actually have the information that we're looking for. That's the only way. Now, in order for Toyota to give you that access, you see, me, I had to show you that I had to do the course, because they don't just give access to people. They have to be sure that it is people who know how to use the access. Those are the people they give the access to. And same thing that we did here, that's the same thing they did in Dubai. You cannot bring new people into the this sector of EV. We have to use the existing people that we have. Now, what they made us do was, every person who has at least more than 5 years experience as a mechanic were the people who were eligible to go and do the EV courses, not apprentices, not the new people. No, they were people who already knows about it. So auto electricians, mechanics. They brought in people from the power sector, people who were doing like all this big mask and all of those things. Now, what they did was they trained all of us and they said, see, this is what it is. Now, they are not bringing new people into the system, because there's no point bringing new people. Let's just use the existing people who already have clue of what a combustion engine is, how it works. Because don't forget that the EV cars still use hydraulic lines. We still need to change the brakes, we still need to change tires, we still need to do wheel alignment, we still need to replace things. The seat is there. The boy, it still has a DCM. It still has bulbs. It still has a 12-volt battery. Do you understand? So let's use people who are already in the sector instead of bringing new people in. So that's why me, I was saying that, see, let's do it like that. It's a better idea. That's for me anyway. And for for you, it unfortunately, this forum, we're here to say it's a business idea. But before people start going into the business, you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. Because if you were to be CNG and all of those ones, it's still okay. That CNG, unless you overfill it, kind of, that's where. But this one, it's a high voltage system. It will kill you on the spot. And because we are people who don't really care about you, I was talking to I think a professor. I was telling him that, do you know that you cannot use a normal plier to work on an EV? He said he doesn't know. Oh, you don't know, and you want to teach this same thing? I don't understand. What do you know then? He says, okay, what does he need to use? And you have to use insulated plier, and it has to be 1,000-volt insulated plier every single time you need to touch anything. If you want to use a screwdriver, it has to be 1,000 volts insulated screwdriver. Anything you have to use, you have to wear all the gloves. I showed him all the things. He's like, oh, so yes, this is how you have to work on an EV. Now for Australia, they made us every year we have to change all of those tools because they don't want to keep having casualties. Because what if you had worked on it and then there's a slight damage on this screwdriver? You can electrocute yourself from that as well. So that's it. So what exactly are we doing? Okay, if we say we want to work on this, people who are giving these rules that we can do it do not even know the tools to use. How do we now measure it up? You are going to China to go and do all of this, no doubt, no problem. But is China going to sell you all the tools as well? Are they going to give you the access to their workshop manual? Most times, no. And China, most of the time, they will put it in Chinese. So what do we do then? So let's not bring the cars in all the way first. Let's find a way to stabilize the system and make sure, even if it is two workshops in each state, who is now going to do the training even? Nobody is qualified in Nigeria to do the training. And nobody is willing to go and bring the people who make the cars to come and do the training. Because how many car manufacturers do you want to bring? But anybody who sells in Nigeria should just train us. There's no point. Most workshop will have to pay for it because we pay for it. So I paid for mine. This Toyota one that I did, I paid for it. The government one I did, I paid for it. People are willing to pay for it if the government gives us a way to get access to it. So that's one thing on GNN. And then see, business opportunity is good. Let's just understand what we are getting ourselves into. If you want all this keke and Okada, I don't think we should, because it means, yes, they have to buy fuel. It takes few minutes to buy fuel. Either way, that battery is not that big anyway. It's pretty much a small battery, so they should be able to charge in few minutes as well. So are they going to have the patience to wait for that few minutes? So those are the business side. We are not business people. Unfortunately, we are technical people. We are also business owners, yes, but we're technical people. The reason for this forum is for technicalities. Let's make sure we show all that happens, and then maybe one of the days, if you come up with a forum where we learn the business side of things, we'll come and listen to you, and then we'll see the business side of things, and then we'll go with that. So that's pretty much my own way of thinking anyway. Bamidele, back to you.
Yes, boss. Thank you, sir. Okay, next on the queue is Mr. Bassi. Mr. Bassi, are you there, sir? Kindly unmute your mic, sir, Mr. Bassi, if you can hear me.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Okay, please go on, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I want to use this opportunity to wish us all a happy new year and also congratulate Vehicle Check for this solemn assembly. And I think I've been part of this since April as we started the community.
Thank you.
And it's a good thing for me to be part of it again. I want to speak as let's say a technician and also somebody into the electrical electronics, because that drives me into the EV and hoping to come into the industry as a technician. Number one, let's say suggestion I have on my jota here is I think the person who have been speaking and showing us some documents, I think it's Mr. Bamidele. Am I correct? If I'm not correct, I am.
No, that's Mr. Banjo.
Okay, Mr. Banjo. Okay, Mr. Banjo, thank you for you showing us around everything that happens, making the existence of EV and let's say the sustainability the procedures to sustain it in Nigeria. But I want to beg that if the document can be, uh, forwarded to the group for somebody like me, I should just take out time, few hours to go through the documents so that I will, let's say, know more, number one, and also uh, make my inputs. Uh, Secondly, speaking from a research and development standpoint, I was fortunate enough to be part of Go City Group, a research company, an innovative and research company, headquartered in Italy, though it's a Nigerian guy that owns the research company. Uh, we are into renewable energy, and that brought me in to, let's say, power parks, design and development of different sizes of power parks, and also have a touch with the use of renewable energy. Let's say the entire system about renewable energy and solar of a thing and so on. Uh, it's a big one. EV becomes a kind of, should I say, a kind of industry where it's still part of the electrical electronics. EV cannot be isolated from electrical electronics, which I am a practitioner in electrical electronics for more than 10 years. So, um, what is there is that I think the document should include, or vehicle check should include, research and development. Though what vehicle check is doing now is part of the research and development, verbal research and development. But when it comes to the practical aspect, when it comes to the technical know-how, the training, and so on, please, I wish that vehicle check should include research and development, because technology is every day uh, advancing. And it's so unfortunate that Nigeria and Africa, we are left behind because we lack research and development drive, both in cutting across technology, innovation, whether you call it software, hardware. So we are backward. And I would not like for Nigeria and Africa to remain a dumping ground. We should incorporate, or we should take cognizance, or we should take seriousness, or should put seriousness on research and development of even these EV that are coming into the country. Once someday, or in a few years from now, we or Africans can develop this thing. It's not a skyrocket something. It's not a rocket science something. It's just that Nigeria and Africa has just put zero focus on research and development, and that is why we are still where we are in terms of technology. So please, without wasting time, I beg that uh, Greco Check should please incorporate research and technology, which is part of the training. Yeah, training. Though training is there, training is just like maintenance and repairs. But research and development, we would like to do this in our own way to suit our own environment. Please, research and development should be added. And another thing is that I saw, is it Mr. Bamidele showing his own dashboard about maybe the research or the training he has done with AASR. Yeah. I don't know. I want to ask if that training can be done online, or is it to travel to Australia to to have the training there on the EV repairs and so on. I would like uh, some ideas to be thrown, or you should throw the more ideas on that, so that some of us who are willing to be part of the technicality should know what to do. Because personally, being a researcher or being an electrical electronic practitioner and so on, I would like to go into EV maintenance. So thank you, everybody.
Babidele, do you want me to answer that, or you want let's add another question?
Yes, sir. No, yes, sir. Please go on, sir. Please attend to it.
Okay, so quick one, Mr. Bassi. So the thing is, everything that you are seeing that I'm showing you, unfortunately, I don't think anybody in Nigeria can do it, because, like I said, I was saying that I'd already done the one from Bosch. If you were part of I was showing the Bosch one, so I'd already done the one from Bosch. That's the only reason I was able to do the Toyota one. So because before, when I was filling the form, they had to ask me that have I done one before. So if you have not done that first one, you cannot go into battery technology, any other one. You cannot go into any other one. They won't let you go in. And then your license has to be on. So you have to be a licensed mechanic. You have to show your license that you've been practicing for this long. You have to tell them this is your work. They're like, there's a lot of questions that they'll ask. So now what I was in return going to thinking we should do is, I've done most of these modules. I am not a licensed trainer. Maybe yes, maybe no, that can be contested. I can actually train it. I can actually show it to people, right? And I can explain it perfectly well. And I will be able to work on it. Now, the difference is we can use the same curriculum to start training ourselves. That's the only other option I can think of. Other than that, I don't know what else to say. Do you understand? Is if we can understand. Me, I would just go and do the first. I would always just go and do everybody. So if we have a specific module that we need, I'll place it, pay for it, do it, and then come back and say, okay, well, this is what we did. Because that's exactly what they're going to come and do to us in Nigeria anyway. But the problem is, who's going to pay for it? It is very expensive. Doing things from these manufacturers is very expensive. But most of the time, the government subsidizes it for us, because those people who have to sell the cars here, they're going to be like, yeah, you want to sell your car? No problem. You have to find a way to teach our people who is going to work on it, and bring everybody from Germany and come and work on it. Now, we don't have a problem with that. It's going to cost the company more money to send a lot of people from Germany. Yes, they can have one or two people, but the whole workshop is going to be only Australians. It's going to be full of Australians and foreigners anyway. So, unfortunately, you will not be able to do it. Unfortunately. So, unless Toyota now decides to release the same module for Nigeria. Now, before they will even give you that module, it means they have to have seen that we have a recognized certificate given to people who already are mechanics, who knows what they're doing. They're already mechanics. They know so then those are the certificates they submit to Toyota. Then Toyota now says, okay, yes, go and do my course. Now they do the course, they get access to the user manual, and then they can work on the car. So the AAR site is for Australia. Now, the AAR site that is for Australia, they put all the manufacturers in one spot, saying that you want to be good at this, click it, pay, and do it. So that's what the site was for. And then I showed the Toyota one that I can show the first certificate that I got from Bosch as well, if you want to have a look. And we will be able to actually go through exactly what they told, what we learned. Do you understand? So that's the only option in this whole matter of trading. But it's a lot complex than what we think it is anyway. So that's my answer to that. I hope I answered your question perfectly well, sir.
Yes, I get your point. But I would also like to know if you did not clarify the end part of the question. I asked also that is it necessary for one to travel down there? They have pay the money, pay their fees, and do the training, or it can be done online? And
Even
must one be a mechanic, or let's say a mechanical engineer before it goes into uh, uh, it? Going.
so you me, I'm just a normal mechanic. I'm not a mechanical engineer. A mechanical engineer is different from what I do. Me, I'm a mobile. I'm just a normal mechanic, right? But what we're saying is, in order for you to be able to do it, you have to either be a mechanic, an auto electrician, be in the motor industry as a whole. I think they allowed some few electricians, which is you have to have a background of mobile, automobile, before you can actually do it. That's the rules here. I don't know what the rules are in other countries. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure. But now, in order for you to even do the course, you have to have a background, 5 years, and then you have to have a certificate first already before you can even do it. So because I remember that, yeah, we you have to be a tradesman. So there's a couple of certificates that we have, and there's a couple of tickets that we have as a licensed vehicle uh, repairer. There's a couple of licenses that we had to submit in order for them to even let us do it, because they did not let every mechanic do it. They only picked a few of us to do it. Now the few of us are the ones that are progressing. So I doubt if you're just a foreigner, you just come in and you say you want to do it. I I doubt it if they will let you do it. I doubt. I'm not saying it's impossible. There might be somebody I can find out too. Let me try to see if I can find out. If anybody does the course online, I don't know. Let me find out. I'll find out and I'll let you know, sir.
Thank you.
All right, sir. Bamdele, over to you.
Okay. Jen, do you want to respond to that particular question or it's another question? Jen, autos.
Hello,
Okay.
hello, sir.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, you know, I said, do you want to respond to that particular question
Okay,
or it's another
with your
question
permission,
entirely?
Mr. Gbenga, it is the same question.
Okay.
Yeah, with your
Please go
permission,
ahead.
sir. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you can go ahead. You can go ahead. You can go ahead. We can hear you, sir.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Thank you for that. I think there are online courses that are available to get EV certification and video guides on basic safety and safety precautions and shutdown processes. But the reality still remains. This EV, for those who are not technically oriented in automobile, they have challenges. And for those who are coming from, let's say, industrial electrical sector, who are considering automobile as an opportunity to look into, they will have challenges. The challenge is they are familiar with high voltage stabilization, regulation, and controls on how to manage those. But when it comes to automobile, fine, the same idea is applicable, but there's a different channel through which the high volt system converts to to a certain lower volt system to enable utilities. So these are just area where misconceptions will come in. But with this online training, easy for a person with automotive background. For anyone coming outside automotive background would require in-class and hands-on practical knowledge to enable to balance this equation. And now, each manufacturers have done a lot of variety of designs, which means an automotive person would understand by manual that this is this manufacturer's concept on how to stabilize its voltage and on how to on the safety and the protocols that really govern the technicality on this particular design. But for those coming from industrial sector, they might not be able to move on, meaning this require a lot of hands-on and in-class training, even if you succeed in getting the online certification. Thank you, sir.
God bless you, my brother. God bless you. Thank you for that explanation. Thank you so much. Really over to you.
Yes, boss. Car diagnosis reports. Well done, sir. Good to have you here again. Are you there, sir?
I think this Olu comes right.
Sorry, pardon me, Mr. Olucoms. I'm sorry.
Olu comes right is good.
I'm using my mobile now, so I didn't see you quickly. Mr. Olucoms, are you there, sir? Mr. Olucoms, right? Mr. Olucoms, if you can hear me, kindly unmute your mic, sir. I think your mic is still muted. Mr. Olucoms.
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Please go on. I apologize for the mistake. Please go on, sir.
There is no challenge. Good evening, everybody. My name is Adenika Williams, and I'm so excited to be in this meeting. Though I've been raising my hand up since the hand has started paining me, but thank you for allowing me to bring it down. 2023, we brought in Holocom's Right. The main purpose for Holocom's Right was to have EVs for e-hailing business. That was the main thing we wanted to do then. We wanted to bring in EV, so we went to China. We were in discussion with BYD because I think that sounds like one of the best options we had then, based on technical things I had, because I'm a labor practitioner. And I have access to a whole lot of people that are ready to invest in the program, but the conditions they gave us in China was a little bit huge for us to come by. The electric stability, where do we charge these vehicles and everything. And when we came back home, we decided to have a meeting. In short, we even had a meeting with ShopRite to give us space. And the first option was most of the supermarkets or hotels or those that use electricity, either by using their generator or by using the direct power supply. We had a meeting with them. A lot of them agreed that, okay, well, this is what they can do. They can give us up to like 4 to 5 parking space that we can use as charge stations. So we intended to start with 3 on the island and 3 on the mainland, and then we intended bringing the vehicle in. We wanted to have our own driver that will be trained. We wanted to bring the vehicle in, then stand a strong competition with Uber and the likes, because a lot of people have started complaining. Some drivers are rude. The security of those vehicles are not 100% guaranteed. Either you hear someone said they were abused or one thing or the other. Some people will tell you that, okay, I got into the Uber vehicle and the AC was not working. The driver never said the AC was not working from the beginning until the ride started. And I had no choice. Some even say the car is dilapidated, and a whole lot of complaint was coming in. So our own was to fill in those gaps. And we wanted to go for BYD Yon Up. That's 2025 BYD Yon Up. That was what we showed interest in as at that time. Then we went on and on and on and on. We had a meeting with Ikeja Electricity concerning power, and they told us that the truth there is that there is no place that they can push power to. As far as it's Lagos, as far as it's under their coverage, they can give us power. But the truth there is that there is an amount we would have to pay. In short, the marketing person that attended to us told us categorically that they prefer industrial partners because the industrial partners pay hugely monthly or maybe bi-monthly or quarterly, depending on how our agreements are with them. But the challenge we had then, we didn't have strong technical partners. Sincerely speaking, I was so amazed to know that there are people that have a hands-on experience on EV Nigeria. That was one of the challenges that I had with angel investors. I pitched this business idea, and I had a lot of people interested in it, even from outside Nigeria. There was an investment bank in in India, that we had a meeting with, and they were ready. They had a lot of angel investors, but these investors are only looking more at the profitability of this entire venture. Now, the challenge I and my team had then, we didn't have a technical person that will be able to tell us, okay, if we bring this entire vehicle in, we can handle it. Of course, BYD told us that we need to bring 2,000 minimum pieces of their vehicle into the country before they can give us the kind of partnership we need. They need to know that they have a market in Nigeria before they can give us the kind of partnership we need, which covers for service stations, apart from the charge stations, service stations where these vehicles can go in and be serviced. Then we need to come with our own partners that have been certified to some extent. They are ready to train them and bring them in. Then with time, they will be coming to be having in-house training for us in Nigeria, possibly twice a year or as soon as something comes up. But sincerely speaking, then we started looking for, okay, how can we put this technical team together? Because their own fear is not that, okay, they can allow us bring the vehicle and everything, but the thing there is that who is going to work on this vehicle when they start developing problem? We wanted to break into the EV market, and the system we wanted to bring in was to first use it as an e-hailing ride, because that is where the trust comes in. You book a ride, it comes to your house, you know it's an electric vehicle, you ride in it. As an ordinary citizen, you now have an experience like, oh, the vehicle is okay, the vehicle is nice, the AC system is working, it's as good as the other vehicle. From there, we intended to break into selling it in installments to those that can afford it. We've already drawn out the charge stations, the places we want to put the charge stations, everything has been drawn out. The only challenge we had is capable technical partners. Because the last time we went for the meeting, a lot of questions were thrown. I'm a lawyer. Yes, I based more on corporate and insurance, so I could structure a company. But the fact there is that there's nobody you want to talk to that want to listen to you if you don't have a strong or a certified technical partners that can answer simple questions. And bringing all those people from overseas and putting them in Nigeria, you have to pay for security, you have to pay for their work permit, pay for a whole lot of things. Most of them are not even ready to come and stay. So that was where we had the big issue. For those that want to partner, believe me, there are guys that have a lot of money. Because another problem they have, as at that time, was how do you intend to fight the oil boys? Because the basic truth in Nigeria as of today. The reason why we don't have constant light is because of the oil boys. Okay, look at a big company that decided to start its own refinery. Okay, look at all the things that we're hearing, all the things we're reading in the news. This person came, started his own refinery, and they're already fighting him. Then talk about us. And the truth there is that, yes, government will pass the law. Nigerian laws are very monumental until someone push it to move. The laws will be passed and you'll be kept on the shelf until a private sector comes in that is working on this and can get a reasonable part of Nigerians to subscribe to this service. The law will be there. They will not do anything. While you're trying to push their hands to do this, to do this, to do this, of course, they might. But the thing there is that the implication, what they call the action will not be there. I know a lot of laws that has been passed and it's just lying on the shelf. Government will not want to come in fully, like the way the coordinator was saying that, okay, they will need to, we're talking about land, we're talking about electricity, we're talking about promulgating laws that promotes e-vehicle. This might not really be achievable if we're just fighting it, but if we already have it as a company and it has grown as a company and people have come into it to organize, okay, yes, we can do this, then it will fly. It will fly. That's the truth. So what me I'm saying is, if we can come together and partner, the financial partners will not be a problem. But the question is that for looking at financial partners, how much are we looking at to start? The technical partners is another challenge that we've always had. So if I can get technical partners that are, okay, these ones are sound, anytime we have a presentation, we'll go in. All I just need to do is present the business to the angel investors. And once the technical part of the entire thing comes, the technical partners come in. And they give their own speech, because definitely most of these angel investors have people that are sound in this area that will ask you questions that if you don't have an experience, at the end of the day, you might not be able to answer it. You might not be able to say anything. The book and the practicals are two different things. I heard when you were talking about the professor that didn't even know the kind of screwdriver that should be used in servicing the car. This is the truth. That is what is happening in Nigeria. Those that are making the policy, they know the theory, but they are not exposed to the practical. So for me, I feel until we have a front, we might not be able to match and take that strong listening to government. Let's look at MTN. MTN came in, and lo and behold, every other company came into play. So it's a sector, it needs to come in first. Once we bring it in, as the executive, we can decide to get a copy of it. You get a copy, I get a copy, you get a copy. Then we now begin to know, we have a first-hand experience of it. Like, okay, this is what we should be looking at, this is what we should be looking at. And BYD, the last time we had a meeting with them in China, they were ready, fully ready to give everything, because they want to break into the Nigerian market badly. They really want to break into the Nigerian market. They are fully ready to give everything. But the conditions they are given is what slowed down the entire thing. If not, by now, Olucon's Drive we have been up. Our app is being built. The website is being built. All those parts are coming up bit by bit. And one thing with investors is that if you cannot provide what they need in time, they will invest in something else. So that is what I have to say. Like, let's come together and have a formidable front. Like, okay, this is what we're doing, and this is what we want to do. When we start it, it's easier to pick as we're moving. Like, okay, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do. And gradually, if you as an expert, as a technical expert, feel like, okay, BYD is not the best for us, you can tell us, okay, which one do you think from your own perspective is the best that we can start with, that you will be friendly, one, that we can make money for our investors. Because the truth is that every investor don't even want to know about the technical. Most of them don't know the technical part of it. The only thing they know is that, okay, if you bring it in, how many rides can we do before the battery goes down? How much do I get as an ROI at the end of the day? And if it's okay with them, they are ready to push in millions. But at the end of the day, those that are managing it are the ones that will sweat it out. Those that are invested in banks, they don't care whether ATM is working or not. Their own is, I put in my money, my ROI is what I'm looking for. And if you don't have a strong management, within 2-3 months, you're already bankrupt. So here is my own saying is, if we can get a team, an action team that we can work on that, okay, this is it, we're technically ready, we're financially ready to do this project, and this is what we want to do, then let's make it practical. Even if you want to influence government, it's going to be easier. Like, okay, well, Olocoms is doing it, they are paying tax, we have employment, we have over 2,000 drivers that are working under us. The charge stations have charge stations operators, those that help the drivers charge their distance. And most of these supermarkets, they were ready to give us space. Even BYD told us that they can actually give us a battery pile, depending on the space we have. That if we can have a certain power for a certain amount of time, like maybe 6 hours, 7 hours, the battery pile can be fully charged, and those battery piles can actually charge the EVs. So we don't need 24 hours light if we don't have 24 hours light because of the peculiar situation of light in Nigeria. So what they are telling us is that, okay, and Ikeja Electricity is telling us that, okay, we can give you 6 hours light, 7 hours light, 20 hours light, depending on what you want and if you can pay for it. Just let us know what your locations are. Then we'll tell you what you need to install. Then we'll give you the light. So that's my own contribution. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate you, Mr. Olukom. So we can all see the complexity of all of this thing. Now, this is somebody who has tried it. None of us have tried it. You can see where we are talking from. I already know where most of the problem will be, because see, you can have all the money, but the technicality, if you don't have it, they cannot substitute for it. I can go to the bank and borrow money, the same money that we're looking for. Just go into the bank, borrow the money, same money, but you cannot go and borrow technicality. This is not possible. So the technical side of things is very, very, very important. At least now we know. But Mr. Olukoms, it is well. Unfortunately, right now, there's nobody in Nigeria you might be able to partner with. I think from that webinar, there was one man in Abuja. Are you in Abuja or you're in Lagos?
No, I'm in Lagos.
So there's one man that says he has, I think, 4 workshops that is already working on EV. I don't know how true it is. Do you understand? But
yes, sir.
It is a difficult task right now, but we can. It's not impossible. It is not impossible, but it involves a lot of resources. Like I said, the tools you need are separate from the tools you know. And then if BYD is going to give you full flagship, now there's 2 different things on if you bring the cars in. Are they going to give you full? Are they going to give you the badge and the workshop manual and every other thing you need? Or so because if or any of those cars, once they have issues, you want to do recalls, BYD should be able to give you the tool or the parts to do the recalls. Do you understand? So those are the things you negotiate for. There's a lot of things that you probably have left out when you are negotiating with BYD. That's why they are bringing up that you have to have a technical partner. The technical partner is the person that is going to tell them what they need in order to give you the access that you need. So they will know if they can give you that access or not. Do you understand? So it's a whole lot of different English when it comes to that. But if you need help, I should be able to give you the technicalities around what you need. in order to run a workshop, a successful workshop that will fit into what you're doing?
Okay, sir. Sincerely speaking, I must tell you the truth.
Yes.
BYD itself is hungry for Nigerian markets, in short, African markets.
Yes.
When we went there, when we had the meeting with them, all they were saying is they are hungry, like they want to come into the African market because they know there is a huge market in Africa. But the problem they always have is by the time they now tell you that, okay, they want to give you one of their technical person to come, the amount the person is going to charge you per hour, whether it's working or not, is going to, is something else. So they now give us an option that, okay, if you can give us someone that already has a background on anything, no matter how it is, but as far as the person has a background training on EV, just give us your people, bring them in. While the car comes in, of course, definitely the car is not going to develop problem as soon as it comes in. They are going to
Yes.
give them at least 6 months training. Are we ready to pay? Yes, we are. We even had to an extent that we're planning that, okay, anybody that is going to go will either give us a guarantor that will say, okay, if we send you there, you will come back home. You will not disappear in China. Number two, if you cannot give us that, then there's an amount of money you have to drop that will be paid back to you when you return home. And we're going to have a strong agreement to that. At least you're still going to be with us for the next 3 to 5 years. But the question there is that for me as a lawyer, it's like presenting me a further master's book and ask me to
Yes.
teach it. I can't. I can't. The man looked at me. I was like, Barrister, you sound nice. You have the entire structure, but the problem you're going to have is the technical. Because these things are things you'll be using every day. You're using it for commercial purposes, which means it's going to be on the road every day. It's going to be running every day. You need something that, in case it has an issue, let's say you're taking a ride and there's an issue, you can quickly send another car to take the customer to whatever destination they are going, then send that back to where they work on it. And they are telling us, okay, if you can buy 2,000 of those vehicles, then we as a company, we would have our own technical station in your country. Of course, but we want to give them the land and everything, but they will
Yes.
bring their presence. So it's going to be BYD Holocoms, just like Jelly has with Meccano and some
Yes.
other this thing. Even we even went to Meccano at the time. I went to Meccano. Do you have EV? Yes, they mentioned one EV, but a price for a unit of that EV was running into 100 and something million. I said no, we can't get a car of 100 and something million and be using it for what they call Uber business. That one is for big boys. Even when they told us, okay, how did you come about the BYD Yawn Up? I just told them, well, the car looks compact. It can take up to 4 people and they can put this in. The man just looked at me. He looked at me. He said, okay. He said, the reason why we're finding it difficult to discuss more with you is we don't have someone that is technical. Handling this thing to you, yes, you can bring your money. We are okay. We want the money. But the thing there is that we don't want something that will damage our brand in your country.
Yes.
Because once we begin to see our cars parked on the road, it's giving us a bad image. And once we have bad image, that means we've lost the Nigerian market. So we need someone that has an idea. It's just like telling a 3-year-old child to use an iPhone 17. There's possibility one day he or she is going to dip it inside water.
I
But when you
understand.
have someone that can say, okay, this is what this thing that can do, this is what this can do, we now decide to come back. I searched and searched and searched. I didn't get any contact of one person that can just say, okay, well, if you're a technical person, even if you're going to come in as a partner, this is the amount of shares we're giving to you. You are going to be the technical head of this entire project. Now your job is give us those that you know that are capable of working with you in the technical department. All we just need is 10 to 20 people. We're going to sponsor them to China. They're going to have their training grounded on specifically on BYD Yawn Up only. So we're not going in a cumbersome thing. Just deal with this one. What kind of charger? When they asked me, what kind of charger would you want? I was just staring at them. They asked to the extent that the man said, okay, what is your power line in Nigeria? I said, we have a lot of power line now.
You
He just looked
see,
at me and said, he said, he looked at me and said, sir, we will need a technical person.
Yeah.
Because from this entire thing, you really need a technical person to help you sit down and say, okay, this is the kind of charger you would use, this is the kind of charge station you will use, and these are the things that you'll be needing. So
even the power, the battery output that you probably need. I
yes,
just always say that there's no point even bringing EVs to Nigeria. If my own opinion, oh, just bring HEVs, which is hybrid electric. Those cars are perfect. If you want to
okay,
run that, I would advise don't bring plug-in hybrids, don't bring EVs. Now, the amount of infrastructure you're going to need and the stress you are going to have, and you have to pay people's money back. You have to start giving them their dividend of their money quicker.
of
My
course,
brother, don't bother. Just put HEVs. Tell them to give you HEVs that are perfect. That one, it charges like how the Prius is charged now. This one's now they decided to do kinetic energy, so which is it uses the braking system to charge the battery. At least for the next 7 to 10 years, you won't have any issues. 100. So
okay,
I
sir.
can I can point you the right direction if you really, 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 really want. I can point you the direction.
I don't want you to point me the right direction. I want us to go the right direction together. Because the challenge there is that this consultant we paid, there is this, what they call his name, is an investment banker in India. And what it does is, if you want to go into agri, no matter the sector you want to go into, they have load of angel investors. In short, he told me that there are some people that are practically interested in investing in Africa, especially Nigeria, because they know Nigeria is a consumer's society.
Right.
So when he did everything, he did the business plan, he did our cash projection, cash flow, and everything. But all we needed was, okay, someone to give us a technical advice that this is the way this thing can work and it can be profitable. Most of the investors keep sending emails. The first of this year, he called me. He said, what is happening? Are you giving up on that holocoms thing? I said, no. I've not been able to find one sound technical person that can help me form a technical team. Only for me to come across this platform. I just said, okay, well, electrical, okay. Let's see what this thing. And the webinar is okay. I'm going to listen to the webinar from beginning to the end. And believe me, when you started talking, I don't need a soothsayer to say this man knows his onions. He knows what to do, what not to do, and how to go about it. Now, if you said, okay, you can hold the technical aspect, I'm ready to call my partners. We're going to have a meeting, irrespective of whatever country you are. If you want us to come and meet you, I don't have a problem. We'll sit down. We'll now know, okay, well, this is the person handling the finance, this is the person handling the management, and this is the person handling the technical. We'll reschedule another meeting with BYD. Okay, we don't want that yawn again. This is the vehicle we want now. And this is what we're looking at. So when it comes to the financial aspect of it, we have the person that will talk. When it comes to the system, I will stand up and lay out the entire thing. But when it comes to the technical, I will leave you, possibly you and some other person, or even if you can take it alone. So you will not be able to tell them, because what they are saying is, tell us what you want, what will work for you.
Okay, Mr. Holucombs, we can work something else, and I'm sure there's fantastic engineers here. I mean, fantastic engineers. So this is why we are holding this kind of forum. Most people you find here, we bring mechanics together, we bring auto electricians, we bring ourselves together for opportunities like this. I'm happy we can definitely structure something. So no worries. What we'll do is I'll get Bamidele to join you on the WhatsApp, and then we can have a separate meeting with most people who are interested in something like this. Then for me, because I can do the BYD one if I want, like I can do it now if I want. So I don't necessarily have to go to China. I have access to go. I can go to China tomorrow morning if I want to. So I don't necessarily have to go to China. I can just do the course here now and just move ahead. And they'll give me access to everything I need. So it just gives you it takes a lot of stress off you if we have people like us that are in this forum to help you out. And we make money too. So it's fine. We'll join you on the WhatsApp. So please reach out to Mr. Bamidele, and then we'll schedule a meeting again, and then we'll go from there, sir.
There is no challenge. I truly appreciate. Thank you a whole
100%.
lot.
We'll definitely call.
Thank you.
We'll definitely call you this week that we're entering into, maybe Monday or Tuesday. Let us know when you
Okay.
have time. Then we'll have a chat. Then I will reach out to people who are interested in it, and then we'll work out something. 100%, sir. We'll definitely
Thank
work
you
out
very
something.
much. I truly, truly appreciate. You've
No,
lifted the body, sincerely speaking.
it's all
Thank you.
good, sir. All good,
All
sir.
right. Mm.
Mr. Car Diagnosis, please. Sorry that we've kept you all this time. Sorry.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
I really appreciate seeing you, Mr. Gbenga. Olukums, welcome home. This is a dream come true. These are several challenges that people pass through in Nigeria. Yeah, my prof, thank you so much for the opportunity today again. We spoke earlier today in the
Oh,
morning.
okay. Sorry. I forgot that is you. I spoke it. Sorry, sir.
No
That was
problem. Yes. Like you rightly mentioned that we are like the food soldiers. We are the one facing the challenge of the technicality of every automobile. Now I witnessed something when they brought in CNG, that's compressed natural gas conversion of vehicles. GNNI said the people with the mechanical background, automobile background, are easier to train. Or somebody mentioned, I don't know whether it's GNNID, GNII. Somebody mentioned it. It's easier for such people to be trained. Like in my own workshop, they came, I would give them a portion. My boss gave them a portion that they should use. During the technical presentation to who is the engineer here that is going to oversee all of this, they presented me. I have done research on CNG. I know how it works. But the material then has not even arrived in Nigeria. When they came, after I have done presentation to the government team that came to our workshop, until they gave approval for kits to be supplied, I didn't know again. Then they brought them. Before I knew it, they brought different people entirely who have no engineering background. One of them did computer science. One did, these are the one I interface with too. One was the Agbero in the garage. He has no idea of automobile. They carry them, train them. This is how it works. Being somebody who has this passion for technicality, I don't just want anything to fail around me. So let me just give the little assistance I could. They could not even lose the air manifold where they wanted to drill and put in the nipple. They could not lose it. How much more losing the generator? I said, these are the people you have trained. So, well,
we can barely hear you. This your network is a bit. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
I don't think you can hear him
Maybe.
because I can't hear him
Yeah.
too.
So I think he's. Okay, maybe let's go to this Mr. Unwim. So while he's getting trying to get back, so Mr. Unwim, you can unmute, please.
Now, the team is using to run this line.
Oh,
all of them were using
okay. Are you up now? Okay, okay. Yes. Okay, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you. We can hear you, sir. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, like I was saying, so at the end of the day, those TB, they were supposed to use a tube bend proper way and take the right radius of bend for them to go into those fitting. They were using bare hands. Then I noticed there were leakages during pressure testing. Well, I just shook my head. I said, well, I have TB background from oil and gas. I have electrical voltage, low voltage in the oil and gas background. So in as much as you guys don't want the right people to be in the right place, I don't have a choice. Let me face my business. At least God is helping me in my own field. That was I just knock off CNG conversion and the maintenance. Are you with me, bro? So now,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah. So the thing I'm trying to drive home here is this. This is a very big family. It's a very large family. We are 500 plus. I know we have few of us in Abuja. You have more in Lagos and across the globe. Please, let us use this forum to consolidate better so that we will be able to control this technical aspect of automobile. Now, you said something last time about this manual, this servicing manual or training manual, whatever thing it is. There are some, even during diagnosis, that want to go online to check. They will tell you access denied. We cannot access some of them because the information, they don't allow it to come through our IP. But if you are able to assist us, let us have a breakthrough so that we can connect to the international world where we can have easy access to this training material or servicing manual for us to have a seamless operation of our technicality here in Nigeria. Bro, but the major challenge is people want to push in their person, whether you have mechanical background, you have history background, all they need is just for them to provide provide means of livelihood for you, which is not helping us. And that is where Nigeria, it is where we are today. I don't want to bug us with too much rhetoric. Let us consolidate this family. Have a better bond. Like I said I'm going to be in your workshop this week. No matter what, I'll create time and be there. Please, let's consolidate in this family. Let's grow it. Oversee, there are certification. Everything you want to do, certification. What is the certification? They want to train you on that particular thing you are doing so that you be an expert. Before they allow me handle a panel offshore, I was trained. I was given a certificate. Whatever you want to do, must train you, whether provided you have little background of it. Then they expose you to the thing. And that's all. Thank you very much, Mr. Benga, for the opportunity once again.
Thank you so much, sir. So see, with vehicle with this owner's manual, so there's this app I'm working on where when we put VIN numbers, we'll be able to search for parts, the right part that goes into vehicles. So it's almost out. Once that one is out, I will come through again and we'll do a webinar on how to use all of those things. And this owner's manual and all of this, I will do my best. See, I'm sincerely doing my best to see how we can have access to most of these things. I cannot, it's just not, it's impossible for me to keep sharing my own user manual to everybody, because once they notice the IP is different, they'll start flagging all of those things. But I would try and see if I can strike a deal with most of these people. They are people I can find anyway. So I'll do my best. We'll see how we go. I'll see how we can get better access to owner's manual for most vehicles that we were working on. No problem,
Okay.
sir. I'll do that.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. Owen, please, over to you. We're way above time today, too. Mr. Okay, all right. You can
Okay,
go.
yeah. Good day, everyone, from whichever part of the world you are. My name is Mr. OM, and I really want to sincerely appreciate you, Mr. Benga, and the other facilitators of this wonderful platform. I was just scrolling through my social media, and then I saw the flyer about the EV thing, and I clicked. I didn't know it's something wonderful like this. I must say I'm really impressed that people are actually concerned about the future of EV in Nigeria and giving out their precious time to host meetings like this. So I really want to appreciate that. Just a quick background of myself. I'm a marine engineer. I work on LNG ships, big LNG tankers that sail across the oceans of the world. And back at home, I repair my cars myself. I like to tinker around a lot of things. When CNG came into Nigeria, I was actually interested because I like anything about clean energy, renewable energy, and things like that. So I went to Abuja, I went to NIPCO, I did a lot of research, I tried to partner, and then at some point I hosted people from India, and I got some samples of the conversion kits, from this company. About two of those units are still in my house, but at some point, what slowed down that project was the investment cost because not a lot of places in Nigeria have this refill, stations for CNG and all that. And I wanted to pull it to the south part of the country, but at the time it was only Abuja and Lagos that had the facilities. And then the EV thing came, and last year, January, I started looking into it, and I actually bought one for myself because I was just doing the video research, watching it on YouTube. I wanted to own one and drive it and see that a battery can actually power, a car and take it to distances. So for almost a year now, I've been driving the EV, and it's been serving. The one I had was this 330-kilometer range. So as an engineer, I know that the problem is going to be after some years when the thing breaks down, and evidently we are not prepared for that. So this is a good platform, and I would like I will appreciate if you can add me to the group, so that we can work towards what we can do to make the terrain better, because it's going to be a big challenge when this EV start breaking down. I was in Lagos recently, and I've seen a couple of them. Some ride hailing companies are coming up with the EV and all that. Personally, I was even planning that sometime this year during my leave period, I'm going to maybe visit China and get to one of the workshops there, and get trained, get my hands on the EV and get trained, and then maybe come back and see how I can train people. But I mean, seeing that there is already a platform like this, I really appreciate, and I don't want to draw this meeting too long. Okay, so I just want to appreciate everyone, and please, if you can add me to the group, so we can progress from there. And then I think the Olokum guy, I would like to be in that technical team. I think we have a like minds, and it's something we can work on possibly. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bamidele, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sas, for your time today. Let me see. I think that's all the hands, if I'm not mistaken. thank you very much for being a part of this webinar as always. Thank you for joining us, even though we have long overshot our time. But like I said, we have this and then we're happy for networking. But please, this is our disclaimer. Before you do business with anybody, just know that the way you joined is the way every other person joined. Please do your due diligence before you commit financially to anybody. And yes, we're available for partnership. Like Mr. Idowu have said, please, if you want to reach out to either myself or Mr. Idowu, you can tag us on the WhatsApp group. And for those that are not yet on the WhatsApp group, you can chat the person that Mr. Ume. Sorry, were you messaged on WhatsApp? Did somebody message you on WhatsApp, sir, to send a reminder to you? Mr. Ume, are you there, sir?
Yes, I got a reminder from my email rather. The reminder was
Okay,
from
it
email,
was on
but
email. Okay.
from the ad, I got a WhatsApp message from the social media ad.
Okay. So what I will do, there are two options. I'm going to be sending so you can do one of these two. You can chat that WhatsApp number to add you to the group, or you can alternatively use the link that I'll be pasting in the chat now. So anyone that is fine with you is okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, so I'll be dropping the link now, and so we appreciate everyone that has been a part of today's webinar, and we are going to be giving us updates. For those that has asked for the document, we will send it again. There are some things we have to update now on the document based on this meeting and based on some suggestions that has come from this meeting. So we are going to be adding those suggestions, then we upload the document, and we encourage everybody to please go through the document and ensure that yes, I'm putting it on the chat now, and ensure that your recommendations were considered. This is the link to the WhatsApp group. I've added it to the chat. And vehicle checks, you might be wondering, who are these guys? Well, vehicle checks is a vehicle reporting company. If you go to our website, www.vehiclechecks.net, let me just add the link also here. You'll be able to check your car history, we have a VIN checker, and stolen reports. A lot of functions are on the site. Please do well to use it. And when Mr. Idowu thought of Nigeria, that Nigeria should be, let us do something that works for the system, we gave birth to vehicle use. Vehicle use, you'll be able to list your car and put the use of that car, just so that in case, God forbid, there is a case of theft and what have you, you'll be able to kind of trace your car. There is a function that is very important that we have there. It's called notice of disposal. That notice of disposal is, maybe you sold your car, you are able to, you can go to vehicle use, www.vehicleuse.com, and you can put in, let me put a link here. You can register the car that you have sold it. So the person you are selling it to also is going to register in the disposal form. But more of this will be coming, as even will be updating us on the group. But there's a lot of networking happening, a lot of partnerships happening already. Please feel free to work with anybody you meet on the team. You can see that Mr. Idowu Banjo, engineer Idowu Banjo, is open, is saying that, let others get involved also. So please network with people. If you have for those joining for the first time, if you have any challenge, some people even they have challenge with their cars, they just put it on the WhatsApp group and people help them, people assist them. Not even Engineer Banjo sometimes. He doesn't talk sometimes, but a lot of other professionals can assist you. And there are testimonies to that. And if he needs to come in, he comes in by all means, joining for the first time. Yeah, welcome, sir. Welcome. Please join the WhatsApp so that you will not miss any of our updates. But please, if you are partnering or doing business with anybody, and putting the disclaimer again, please do your due diligence before you commit financially. And thank you very, 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 very much. We have overshot our time, but we appreciate you for staying this long. God bless you. I'm a lady. Mr. I'm sorry, Lady Benita. Well, I'm so sorry. We don't get ladies often. Wow, welcome. Mauga, we have a lady in the house. So that's why we are calling everybody Mr. O.
Well.
Yeah, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. I'm so happy to have you. I'm so happy to have you. Wow. Okay, I'm not seeing the name well. It's Benita. The only thing I've been looking at is Kaka says. You're welcome. You're welcome. Maugasa, do you have is there any other thing you want to say before we go, sir?
Nothing more. Let's let everyone go. We've stayed too long. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes.
And
Thank
then
you so
if
much.
there's any more updates, we'll let everybody know again, and then we'll go from there. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Until we meet again, I call you blessed. Enjoy your week ahead. Thank you,
you,
sirs and ma.
All right. Yeah. Bye-bye.